Hello everyone and thanks for watching. Today I want to demo OpenStack failure domain support in OpenShift. This feature will be released in OpenShift 4.13 as tech preview and is part of a larger effort to allow OpenShift clusters to be distributed in a modern data center. OpenShift is capable of deploying its control plane across multiple failure domains, but for OpenStack this was currently limited to availability zones. This new feature proposes a unified definition of failure domains for an OpenStack deployment covering all supported availability zone types, and defines how OpenShift will use them when deploying the control plane. An example deployment with 3 failure domains is currently shown. Now let's take a look at the install config. Failure domains can be defined in the control plane machine pool. Each failure domain's entry can take an optional compute availability zone string, an optional storage availability zone string, and an optional port targets array. Each port target's entry requires an arbitrary ID, which must be unique per failure domain. If the ID is control plane, then that port target is used instead of the default primary subnet as the first machine network. The network object takes an optional name string and an optional neutron network UUID. The name is ignored if a UUID is passed. Each fixed IP's entry takes a subnet object, which syntax is defined in OpenShift API as subnet filter. Note that unless an user-managed load balancer is used, port targets with ID control plane must all have one single subnet and must all refer to the same OpenStack subnet. In this particular example, we will distribute the OpenShift control plane across multiple subnets and we have an user-managed load balancer to route the traffic between the leafs. User-managed load balancers is also a new tech preview feature introduced in the next release and is covered by other demos. Check out my blog to learn more. To save some time, the OpenShift cluster is already deployed. Let's take a look at the control plane machines. We'll list the master node's virtual machines. As you can see, they're distributed over the 3 subnets. Now let's take a look at the machine definitions. Master 0 is connected to the first leaf subnet. Master 1 is connected to the second leaf subnet, and so on. To deploy the workers in a desired leaf, you have to create a new machine set and appropriately configure the networks, but this is an already known feature in OpenShift. Again, this feature is currently tech preview and will be generally available in a future release. In our roadmap, we plan to extend failure domains to compute nodes but also extend the port target definition and also integrate it with control plane machine set. Stay tuned for more updates on this topic and see you soon.